evidenced by the red door, which always symbolizes Gilda's clubs, which are free support groups around the nation to help people whose lives have been touched by cancer and their family and friends.
To welcome you to our second annual It's Always Something Teen Essay Contest Awards reception. For those of you who may not be familiar with the club or have been here before, Gilda's Club is named in honor of Gilda Radner, the comedian that was on Saturday Night Live as well as Second City. Gilda's Club is a warm and welcoming place where men, women, and children with cancer as well as their families and friends can join with others free of charge to build social, emotional, and informational support. It's an essential part of their medical treatment as well as their care. At Gilda's Club, we offer support groups, informational lectures, mind-body workshops, art classes, and social activities. Noogieland is our children and teen program, which is named after the skit The Noogies, yes, the Snoogie, that Gilda used to do on Saturday Night Live with Bill Murray. There are many ways which teens can become involved here at the club. For instance, our children's holiday party, called A Very Noogie Holiday Party, is coming up on Wednesday, December 15th from 4 to 7. It's a great way to volunteer and earn volunteer hours for school.
We all knew Honey would be passing away at any given moment, and nobody knew when it would happen. One day after a family meeting, Honey fell very ill. I rushed home from school to see her, but had to leave after an hour to babysit my young cousin. At 9 o'clock that night, I received a phone call from my mom. She told me that Honey was not doing well and she could pass away at any minute. I immediately put my cousin to bed and asked my dad to make sure he was okay while I was gone. When I arrived at Honey's house, most of my aunts and uncles were there already. I said my hellos, but immediately rushed into Honey's room. She was lying in her hospital bed and looked absolutely miserable. She saw me sit next to her and tried to smile, but I shushed her and held her hand. I could tell by looking at her that she was becoming more exhausted every minute she was awake. I put my cheek to Honey's hand and told her that it was time to go to heaven and that it would be okay. She nodded her head, gave another attempt at a smile, and at that very moment fell into a very deep coma. I did not leave Honey's side for nearly 6 days, except to go home for brief moments to shower or eat a small meal. Within those 6 days, most of us had slept anywhere we could find a space. Nobody could muster the strength to leave Honey's house, as nobody knew when she would finally go. On the morning of March 24th, I woke up from a short sleep on Honey's couch to a quiet house. Everybody was crowded in Honey's small room. There was a strange feeling in the house, almost a mixture of sadness and comfort. I sat next to Honey and held her hand for what felt like hours. It was obviously that she was in pain, and thankfully a hospice service had provided us with various medicines to help comfort her. At 10:30 a.m. on a warm and sunny day, my grandmother took her final breath. After rounds of hugs and tears, our family did what was necessary, such as make wake and funeral arrangements. My aunts asked me to pick out shoes for her to wear in the casket. I chose her hot pink head sneakers, which were her favorite. I knew she would have loved the idea, and it would be the last joke we would ever be able to share. The day after Honey passed away, I realized she didn't get to see me with a bald head. I immediately called my hairstylist Angie and asked if she could shave my head that morning. She agreed, and after hearing Honey's story, she wrote a tear-stained $100 check to the American Cancer Society to benefit the Relay for Life I was participating in. The day after, I arrived at Honey's wake with a shaved head and hot pink sneakers, which I decided to wear so Honey wouldn't have to be the only one at her wake wearing goofy shoes. Everything I experienced through taking care of Honey has led me to learn a very big life lesson. We as people will not be on earth forever. Nobody knows how, when, or where he or she will die. We cannot play God, and when we try to control fate, we cannot try to control fate. Whatever God has planned for us is what we must go through in life. Honey always reminded me that God has a plan for each of us, and whatever he wants, he gets. Honey also helped me realize who I am as a person. Over the year I spent with her, I was able to mature. She taught me to always follow my dreams and to always remember those that are less fortunate than I am. I will never forget my grandma and all the good times we had together. She has helped me in countless ways that not many people will ever understand. Although I wish she were here with me physically, I know she is watching over me every day of my life.